What's up, man?
What's up?
Second one.
Second one. So, first hot topic of the day, everyone's talking about right now, Elon Musk takes Twitter. How does that change? What is your thoughts on, what do you think it'll change the social media landscape?
Oh, gosh. I mean, a big deal. Something like that happening is a pretty big deal. We're already seeing how a group of people are pretty upset that he's taken over and are not happy with the firing of the some of the people on the exec board, and he's like permanently banning people, and he's like kind of really bringing back I would say like the old school Twitter, the back in the day Twitter.
It's going to be interesting to see the old school Twitter. Also I saw was that possibly bringing back Vine. Because Twitter bought Vine and then they shut it down. And so I read that they are taking the engineers and unlocking the Vine code.
Yeah.
That'd be kind of
cool.
Love
Vine.
Yeah,
Vine was like it was like one of the best. It was
we
like
used
one
to
of
do Vine
all the time.
We were big Viners.
And I thought they were funny videos.
I personally think it would be good just because TikTok is such a dominant force right now. I think it'd be fun to have Vine kind of competing against TikTok. I mean, we have the Reels, I guess Instagram Reels, Facebook Reels, and stuff like that, and YouTube Shorts. But I think it'd be cool to have the Vine, back in the ecosystem of things.
Yeah, it definitely strange that that he kind of came out of nowhere and wanting to purchase Twitter, and he's doing so many different things. And I mean, I idolize him just based of like his principles and like who he is. I personally think it's a great move in kind of like this direction that social media is going. And I think we talked about it very little on the first podcast, but I think that we grew up with technology for the most part, where it was like really blooming and blossoming. And I think that 15 years we kind of saw like this huge surge of technology and it being incorporated into our lives, and then another 15 years of where you kind of saw society kind of take a nosedive, and you're seeing actually tech and social media getting really big flack here. And so my hopes is that Elon finds some sort of balance, balance that we're all kind of looking for.
And I completely agree, because people say Twitter's like the town hall. And I kind of see that, but you know what? If anyone has been on Twitter, the place sucks. Like it's such a bad, like people are yelling at. It's like you want to say the worst thing to someone, go to Twitter and just like read. It's just a crappy kind of. It's not a fun universe to be in. I guess maybe if you enjoy that kind of deal. So I hope, if anything, that maybe a little bit changing of something where it's not so much, in each other's throats. Maybe it's a change of the algorithm. I don't know. Maybe we can promote.
Yeah, I mean, one of the things that they're doing for sure is the way that they're kind of fact checking, because I mean, as you know, a lot of people get their news from
Twitter,
Twitter, and they kind of want to do a fact checking where they are not doing anything behind the scenes and everything's like in front for the users to see.
I personally think, in some ways, it's like people with bad ideas and fake news and stories should be allowed on, because you need to be able to see what's fake. Like people can see who these people are. It's almost like you're hiding.
Yeah. It's
like when you push these people off, then they go into hiding and you can't see. It's like it should be out in the light, these stupid and bad ideas.
Yeah. Yeah. I just like, honestly, I just like really hope that this is a first step in a good direction. And what I mean by that is that we see a lot of kids just getting absolutely obliterated on social media. I mean, the constant stimulation, the notification. I think that like short videos and reels are just, I think it's a disaster. Really, social media is a place that they want you to stay on the app. They want you to use it as much as possible, and they're going to run their algorithm in a way that they know how to keep you on the phone longer.
It might be a lost cause. Like it might even be, Elon's coming here, and it might not change anything. It could just be the same old. It might even get worse.
More shit. Yeah.
And it's like, I think it's almost like, even for the Institute and like what we're doing, is like we almost need to be telling people it's here, and how do we prepare and create tools that are almost like to handle and recognize. We're almost at the point where you just need to recognize that this is a bad thing.
Yeah, totally. I mean, I just from my experience alone, it's just like, you kind of find yourself like in the morning just like scrolling through reels and just mindlessly just like staring at a screen, and you just kind of like what the heck am I doing? Like I'm not even like looking at anything that's like productive or not. So hopefully him taking over is like actually like a good step in the right direction, and we start to find a balance with all of this.
Yeah, hopefully. On to the next topic. So I like this one a lot because it's something current, but I will, few disclaimer, I probably should have said this in the beginning of our podcast, is that maybe you're a little bit more, but not an expert on anything, not a journalist on anything, not journalists, not experts, just kind of guys that have gone through a lot of different things and have opinions. And as someone that's now starting the Institute, and just kind of our overall opinion. So big topic right now that's happening, economics. I mean, economy, I should say. Big topic right now is the economy. Economy is on everyone's mind. Gas prices, we're here in California, Orange County. Gas prices are out of control, barely under $6. Real estate's crazy. Most people can't, young people can't buy houses. What's your thoughts, I guess, first on what's happening right now, and second, what do you think the mindset, I guess, in just overall hard times, you know?
Let me tell you a story describes what the economy is doing to the younger generation. It's changing the way that they think about opportunities in their future. And my little brother brought over a girl, a friend, but not a girlfriend. And she alluded to something about, stealing from a big store like a Circle K or like a CVS. And she's like, it's okay to steal if you're stealing from like a big corporation like that, every once in a while. And I was like, absolutely not. Like, no way, Jose. And she's like, yeah, no, I mean, like, it's really not that bad. And I'm like, what the hell are you talking about? I was like, and I told her, I was like, purely on principle,
What was her reasoning? Why a corporation?
And so her reasoning is because that us people, or the younger generation, already has so little, and that a lot of their future has been taken away because of whatever like monetary policies that where the federal government started to create more debt and whatnot.
Yeah.
And so what it does to the mind of younger leaders is that it makes them feel like that they have no future. It's absolutely insane. Seriously, when I was talking to this young lady, it just sounded like she had no hope for the future because there was no future. And all this talk about the economy and what's going on, it's just compounding, and it's putting more pressure on these kids.
Yeah. So what did you tell her?
What did I tell her? Oh my goodness. No,
did you say go rob the store?
No, yeah, I just said, purely on principle, I wouldn't do it for principle. And she like doubled down and said, no, but like if it's from a big company and blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, okay, then how do you find your virtue if you're stealing, if it's okay to steal? How do you find virtue? How do you find your happiness? And happiness, I believe, is 50% genetic. I think that the other 25% is like habits, habits that you create. And then the other 25 is decisions. The younger generation, they are already making the decision in their head already that, hey, we're already screwed. We're so effed already. Why would I not do this?
Why do you, I mean, you're right. I think there's probably some genetics to it, and there's a lot of it's like lifestyle habits. I mean, I guess what should be our advice then to like the young, like, I mean, how do we create it's like, how do we get out of that negativity?
Dude, I mean, you know this. We've lived through, we remember the dot-com bubble. We remember 2008, and this, whatever's going to happen next, we're going to remember it. And I'll tell you something that my dad told me, and I'm sure that I've told you this before, but he told me that when it comes to a recession, a depression, he's like, you don't listen to anybody else. You don't look for anybody for support or for protection. You look at yourself. You look within. And during these times, you work very hard. You save a lot of money, and just know that this moment, it's only a moment. And it's not going to last forever.
Yeah. The same kind of advice I do for everything. It's just like, you got to keep going. You know, it's like, it's sad to think that the girl is kind of like, yeah, everything's effed and I might need to go rob and like screw these people. And it's kind of like, no, we really just need to keep our head, like keep moving forward, staying positive, keep building things, and it might be slower than usual, but keep moving the like forward step,
Yeah.
low key, save some money. There's a lot of people also, I'll say that, is like, keep going, keep moving, stay positive, but it's also a lot of people in these downtimes, like dot-com bubble, during the 2008 crisis, people made money. People like, there's things that if you keep your eyes open, kind of keep grinding, opportunities possibly can open up, and you just never know. Like lots of people made lots of money during downtimes.
Totally. I would say that the ages from like 18 to 24, you're working, you're saving money, you're trying to find ways not to create debt, right? So you're not like taking on like loans that you can't, that you can't like pay back. And you have to be patient. It's like I'm going to go back to technology because it's like, it's really hard to be patient and to do all these things that we're saying when you have people like flashing Rolex, or you have people like on OnlyFans that are making like millions of dollars,
Yeah.
And so what happens is that, kids look at life and they're like, wow, this is so unfair. But guess what? Life is super unfair.
Yeah.
It's extremely unfair. You have to be patient and believe in yourself.
There was a moment in the early 20s where, you were I was flipping bread at Cane's Chicken, and you Jersey Mike's, I think was your story.
Yeah.
And there's moments that are just like, God, this is so awful. This is so bad. Like, is this?
And we worked multiple jobs.
And then, everything finds their way out. If you just keep pushing along, eventually things open up, and keep your eyes open. This is open up. And I think the same situation with the economy is going to be bad, but you just got to keep moving in so many ways. That's my only plan. I don't know any other way.
Yeah,
we
don't obviously we don't have like a blueprint, but
Yeah.
you can be smart about, again, you can control a lot of the decisions that you that you make, and you just have to be smart. And I think that this moment isn't going to last forever. It could very well carry on into next year, and that we could still have high inflation. We could still have like high interest rates. So not being able to go buy a home and continuing to rent. You have to be optimistic.
Yeah.
You choose to, if you want to look at it as in a negative way, or you can choose and look at it as in a positive way.
Yeah, 100%. It's going to be everyone's choice here soon. It's going to be, we're going to have to make choices no matter what coming up here soon.
Yeah. Obviously, things are more expensive, right, with prices going up. So you just have to try to find a way to like also be saving during this time. Like, even if it's like $50 a month, like
we should
$100.
emphasize that a point, especially young people. I don't know people even that have really good savings. I don't think it's emphasized enough. If it's not even savings, like putting money into figuring out ways to put money better, like
keep it away.
keep it away. Yeah.
It's like, if you're really bad, I know people that like, they get money and then they just spend it right away. And a way that they kind of like fix that is they will like take half of their income and just like put it away into savings, or put it away into something that they like cannot change, and like they force themselves to kind of like have that that lifestyle from now on. But then you have other people.
That requires a lot of sacrifice. I don't know. That's tough.
Totally, yeah.
It requires no Netflix, maybe no pizza one night.
But I in 5 years you'll be in a different place.
Yeah, it's true. It's very true. In 5 years, a little sacrifice, you can be in a different place.
Completely different place, and you have a completely different relationship too with just like money in general.
Cool. Last topic.
Okay.
So we are the Lincoln Institute, one of the biggest deals, and I thought this was a good one in general because the U.S. elections, midterms, is that time of year. It's election year. Looking from the outside, looking at of the leaders, of the candidates that you see, I don't know if there's a lot of relatability. I look at all these major races, and I just feel like we're recycling a lot of the old ideas. We're recycling a lot of like what's already been done. It's like we did things in the 90s, and now we are just rebranding them. It's a whole new rebrand of bad, awful ideas that didn't work, that kind of led us to the situation that we're in now. And then we're kind of gaslighted into kind of believing that, this is the great new, brand new thing that they're producing. And it's just like, it seems like to me is like the goal for even when starting the Institute and the students that we recruit is like, how do we produce leaders that transcend the right or the left? And I don't know.
I mean, we've been kind of like pinholed to just use one party or the other, and I think that what we're actually really seeing right now with the younger generation, and I think it started in our generation where we kind of like looked at both sides and just like it's the same thing, just blue and red, just polarizing views, and I think that the younger generation is like even more like I don't think like either one of these two people, and actually I think that these guys are just politicians and that they're not out to help me at all, so why should I care about them? It's actually gonna be really interesting because my brothers are 18 and 19 right now, and
so they're going to vote.
Yeah, but imagine them in like 5 years, imagine them in 10 years. The whole kind of landscape is really starting to change around us, and so I wonder if this two-party system is actually going to be.
That is a very good question if that's going to be, especially, I mean, it's just so much is changing. I mean,
Totally.
like there's so much it's very interesting, and and your brother's hanging around with girls that want to steal from corporate places. So what are they going?
No
what kind
idea.
of leaders are they?
I don't. I thought I was a good role model. I guess not.
Well, I think how long can young people go? Like they've seen all this failure, they've seen all this stuff that's happening. Like it's like how low can things get before like people are like, you know what, time to change it all?
Yeah.
I think you're right that there might be 4 or 5 years like. We could be seeing a completely, maybe not 2024, well, 2026, 2028, there's a possibility that, that there's going to be something different, and I hope, just with the students that we talk to and recruit is like, we're demanding more. Like as a next generation of leaders, how do you demand more? And how do you do things that are really changing things and are really affecting the way everything is led in right now?
Yeah,
so.
I mean, geez.
Tough question.
No, I know it is, but I like also like I want to stay kind of true to ourselves. You and me share like our conservative beliefs in common. I don't think we're super like far right Republican. I think that like you and me are more kind of like in the middle. We're more like laissez-faire with like the ideas from the left and whatnot. Actually, the way that you and me feel about politics and how we view politics is actually quite similar to a lot of the younger generation. And I think that what we're trying to do is we're trying to share our kind of like our experience and our view of things to shed a light on our recruits and student leaders that we work with.
I think that you and I are very similar. I think that we're very like normal people. I think that our view on politics.
Yeah, I think I'm normal. Sometimes.
I think that there's a lot of normal people that don't like left or right. I think that what I mean by that, I think we're normal in the sense that we believe in nuance. I think that in so many ways, nuance is killed. Nuance is dead. It's basically like you're either pro-corporation or you're pro-labor force, you know? And why can't you be pro-corporation and pro-labor? And how do you find a middle mix where you're helping both, right? And it's the same thing with immigration, border, is all these things. How do you find a more in the middle nuance? It's almost like we can't do that anymore. It's like nuance is like murdered and killed.
Yeah.
And I feel like, if we could produce anything, like how do we get more nuance?
There's no leaders that are talking the same way that we are.
Yeah.
Of uniting, to unite people. And I think that people are just so sick and tired of fighting and the separation. And I mean, you're seeing it in Europe right now with like a lot of like those really left laws that they passed that were like super out there left. And now like a decade later, you're seeing a lot of these countries kind of retract a little bit and go more into the middle. And you have the right and then you have the left. And on both sides, you have them pushing as far right or as far left as possible. And what in the middle is you have truth, right? And so kind of what we're seeing right now is like this the tug and pull war, and we're seeing the line of truth kind of be swayed like back and forth. But I believe that people want to be united, that people want to like the best for their community, that they want opportunities not only for themselves but for other people. But we don't have a lot of leaders that are like that they're talking like you and me. Like it's like kind of like what you said. It's like I'm for X, Y, and Z. Well, I'm for A, B,
Yeah.
and C. And it's like, okay, then, it's like I like B and I like X and Y.
Yeah.
Like, so
We can
like,
have,
what do
yeah.
I do?
Yeah. We're put in the conundrum, as one would say. I think that there's one mission that the Institute is like ultimately trying to do is like, how do we be the incubator for the new generation of leaders? How do we be the kind of the catalyst, the one that is producing ideas, that is giving the next generation that is going to be the leaders of this? It's like, how do we give them the tools and everything that they need so that we could take on problems in a different kind of way and have a nuanced kind of a way to it all. So that's going to be our mission, I guess. And
how do we fix where we're at right now is really to put a lot of like investment and focus into the next generation of leaders and helping them find a voice, right? Helping them find this narrative and dialogue so that when it's their turn to step up, that's what they're going to be preaching and that's what they're going to be talking about. Connecting them to other really experienced business leaders who are going to help, again, create those thoughts and that narrative for them to take with them.
Well, I think those are our topics. Episode 2 in the books.